Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. JOTA, and today, as usual, as every day, we will be talking about the latest news about Real Madrid, the most important news. As you know, this weekend is great. Sunday is going to be the big day against Atletico de Madrid. It's going to be a very important game because for us, if we are able to get the 3 points, it's going to be another step forward in the right direction to win La Liga. Of course, there are more competitors right now. I mean, you can think about Real Sociedad and Betis and Sevilla and all the stuff, but every time you beat down a team like Atletico de Madrid is a very important victory, as they are, I would say, Atletico de Madrid is one of the most powerful teams in La Liga for now. So to me, it's going to be a very important game, a very important victory if we get it. So it's going to be a big day, right? So for that derby, for that clash against Atletico de Madrid, apparently, according to Sergio Quirante from Goal TV, we will have available to Karim Benzema, which is great news. I mean, what I have seen so far, what I have been reading so far in different media, newspapers and stuff like that, it is pretty much Carlo Ancelotti wants to wait a little bit more. Carlo Ancelotti wants to test Karim Benzema on Saturday to see how is he feeling at that moment, so he can figure, okay, this guy can be there or he can't be there at all, and take a decision on the possibility for Karim Benzema to be included in the squad list against Atletico de Madrid. But Sergio Quirante said otherwise, and he confirmed and he claims actually Karim Benzema will be there and will be able to make it, which is great news, of course. So that is the most important regarding to the game against Atletico de Madrid. But now let's move on and let's keep talking about the future of some different players who in different ways are very attached to Real Madrid, whether leaving Real Madrid or whether arriving Real Madrid, right? I'm talking about, for example, in this case, Eden Hazard. What happens with Eden Hazard is pretty much today an article from The Sun came up claiming that Real Madrid already has refused an offer for the Belgian player, and the reason for that, it might be two different reasons. In my opinion, is for two different possibilities. The first one is pretty much because they don't they don't want to think about the possible departure of Eden Hazard right now. Maybe just push it for the summer or something like that. And then the other theory that I have, just because they refused, or why they refused the offer for Eden Hazard, is pretty much because the money was not enough. I mean, as you know, 3 days ago, it was said West Ham United from the Premier League is the team that is more interested in the signing of Eden Hazard, right? So apparently they were willing to throw on the table about 25 million euros for signing Eden Hazard. But the problem is Real Madrid okay with those 25 millions, or is Real Madrid trying to get more money or significantly higher than that, maybe 50 million euros or something like that? I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you the reason, but what is really true though is pretty much that the player, according to Tomás González Martín from ABC News in Spain, the player wants to stay in Real Madrid, and there's no way for him to get out of the squad, to get out of Real Madrid right now. I mean, in the next market of January, right? So for now, what is apparently true is that the player is not going anywhere, and Real Madrid is okay with that. So what is not okay with is the idea that Eden Hazard can stay or extend for so long his career in Real Madrid, getting an insane and crazy salary of about 15 million a year and then delivering pretty much nothing, right? Because he's the kind of player who hasn't been able to deliver anything special for Los Madridistas over the last 3 years. He's been trying over and over again. That is pretty true. But what is really true as well is he couldn't, right? Whether the injuries, whether he was out of shape, whether different bunch of reasons, he didn't deliver anything, right? Or something significantly important So Los Madridistas can think, okay, this guy can reverse the situation, can play a little bit better, or the salary, the wage is something that is really worth, right? So there's no point to me to keep this player in the squad, getting a wage of about 50 million euros for no reason. So I don't think Real Madrid will try to get rid of the player right quick, but what I do think is Real Madrid will try to find the best way for us, the best way for Los Madridistas, the best way for the club as of the next summer. I'm pretty sure they will try to get rid of the player and right quick, but it's gotta be next summer. And now let's move on and let's keep talking about more stories. Let's keep talking about the words from Vinicius Jr. that really made Los Madridistas feel happy, made Los Madridistas cry, made to Los Madridistas think that we have a super nice player, a nice person, right? And an incredible player who, by the way, is a Madridista from the bottom of his heart, right? So for Vinicius Jr., the most important, according to this interview that was released yesterday, it is not the price he's worth. I mean, as you know, over the last 2-3 days, we have heard from the CIES Observatory of Soccer and also from KPMG, the consultancy firm, talking about that Vinicius Jr. is worth, for the CS Observatory Soccer, Vinicius Jr. is worth about 150 million euros. And then on the other hand, KPMG thinks Vinicius Jr. is worth less than 65 million euros, which is completely the opposite, right? So for Vinicius Jr., there's no a real, it's no that important. It's kind of, it's okay. If I'm worth like 65 or 100 or 120, it's okay. But the most important for me, this is what he said, the most important for me is to keep playing for Real Madrid. And that is pretty much what we should worry about. That he's happy in Madrid, he's succeeding in Madrid, that he's so, grateful to be playing for Real Madrid. It's been so hard, the way to get what is achieving right now for him in Real Madrid, that I don't think, there's no doubt in my mind that he won't stay in Real Madrid for so long. You know what I'm saying? For Vinicius Jr., the most important for now is to keep playing as a Madridista, and there's no way for any other team in the world to get on our way and get in the way of Vinicius Jr. in his career and say, okay, I'm going to try to sign this player for PSG. I'm talking about PSG or even Manchester City or any other one of the big clubs or something like that to get on the way of Real Madrid and try to sign Vinicius Jr. because Vinicius Jr. is the one who is saying all the time he wants to stay in Real Madrid, right? So that is the most important for us. So that's why I'm not worried at all when every time we hear about PSG trying to get on the way of the renewal contract of Vinicius Jr. with Real Madrid and all the stuff. I'm not worried at all because we do know Vinicius Jr. wants to keep playing for Real Madrid for so long, maybe forever, maybe for the future, for the near future, or whatever you want to call it. So no concerns at all about Vinicius Jr. and all the stuff. And of course, now let me go ahead with the last two stories that we have for you all today, guys, because the first one is about Rüdiger. As you know, Rüdiger right now is very close to sign for Real Madrid. It's going to be the first signing of Real Madrid for the next year, 2022. And according to Jose Felix Diaz, that is going to happen as of the next month of January, when Real Madrid will throw the first offer for the player. As you know, just because the player, Chelsea is still trying to renew the contract of Antonio Rüdiger, right? So Real Madrid doesn't really want to get on the way of the renewal contract situation between Antonio Rüdiger and Chelsea. So what Real Madrid is trying to do is, or what Real Madrid is trying to be, is so respectful with both of them. Chelsea and Antonio Rüdiger. And once Chelsea has exhausted every single possibility with Antonio Rüdiger, what is going to happen is pretty much that Real Madrid will get on the way, will show up, and will say, okay, now we can start the negotiation for you to come and play for Real Madrid. Maybe the new deal, new contract, all the stuff, right? They already had, though, a meeting between someone from Real Madrid and the brother and agent from Antonio Rüdiger. That meeting already had happened, but that is something that it happens in soccer, right? I mean, it's not illegal, or it's not legal actually, but the thing is, nobody can tell you that you can have a meeting with another person in a free situation, right? So Real Madrid probably knows something up front about the ideas of Antonio Rüdiger, what does he want, and all the stuff. But in order for Real Madrid to know that information, I mean, they have to have a meeting with someone surrounding Antonio Rüdiger, and who is going to be better than his brother, an agent, right? So they probably had a meeting, and probably Real Madrid knows already what is going on with the renewal contract situation of Rüdiger and Chelsea and all the stuff, and they probably know as well how much money Antonio Rüdiger want to make in Real Madrid. But the most important for us is pretty much the deal is very close to happen, and according to Jose Felix Diaz, Antonio Rüdiger will become the first signing of Real Madrid for the next year, which is great because again, it's a very good player. The only concern that I have, the only worry that I have or comes to my mind is every time I think that Carlo Ancelotti will try to figure out how to adjust the system, how to adjust the tactics to fit Antonio Rüdiger in the middle of the defense. But that is going to be, I mean, it's always a good problem, right? If you have a bunch of good players, there's no, or shouldn't be any concern, shouldn't be any trouble to feed and adjust the players in the lineup. So it's not going to be an issue at all. And now let's talk about the okay, so the last news, and maybe arguably the most important news for today, and it's regarding to the future of Erling Haaland, because Mino Raiola was talking about that in an interview in Sport 1 yesterday, and he was talking about what is going to happen with the future of Erling Haaland. And what he said is pretty much, we already know what team Erling Haaland is going to play in as of the next year. So they already have taken a decision, they already know what is going to happen, but of course he didn't reveal anything. What he actually revealed, it was the name of the teams that have the more chances to sign in Erling Haaland for the next year. And he mentioned Real Madrid, FC Barcelona, Bayern de Munich, and Manchester City. So 4 teams can of course lend to Erling Haaland for the next year, which is of course a very decent race between these 4 big clubs. I was surprised because I heard about FC Barcelona. I was not expecting at all for FC Barcelona to be in the race for signing Erling Haaland, but apparently they will be there as well. And yeah, I mean, he also confirmed Erling Haaland also has a release clause of 75 million euros, something that Watzke revealed 2 days ago, so that is pretty true. So that is going to be the starting price, I mean the price that has been set for the player in the market, 75 million. But as of that point, what is going to happen, what they have tried to offer is pretty much a little bit more than the other ones. So maybe Real Madrid can offer 75 plus an additional million if he scores I don't know how many goals, or maybe if he plays a specific amount of plays or games or stuff like that, right? So that is the way how Real Madrid will try to land Erling Haaland in Madrid next summer, just because they are going to put 75 million and then additional top bonuses and all the stuff, right? So that is the only way to sign this player, because if there's no price set, then what is going to happen is a crazy market with a lot of teams out there offering and throwing, you know, huge, insane offers for these players, that can be maybe 150, 200 or things like that, right? So I'm pretty sure Borussia Dortmund will make more, significantly more than 75 million, but what I can assure is if they are going to be able to make maybe 200 million or something like that. But that is something I really don't care about, because the most important for us is to be ahead of everybody else and be able to throw an offer interesting enough for the player and for Borussia Dortmund that make for everybody and work out for everybody, so we can lend to Erling Haaland alongside Mbappe for the next year. And this is pretty much what I had for you all today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and of course, comment in the section